What happens if you fall into a black hole? A black hole isn't just a hole. It's the corpse of a dead star, collapsed into something so dense it bends space and time. Imagine squeezing the mass of our entire sun into the size of a city. That's how powerful it is. Its gravity is so intense, not even light can escape. That's why it's black, invisible, and terrifying. Now, picture this. You're drifting toward it. At first, nothing feels strange, but as you get closer, your feet start to fall faster than your head. This is called spaghettification. You're being stretched, like pasta. But you wouldn't feel pain. Time would slow down for you. From your perspective, the universe would speed up. You'd watch stars age, galaxies swirl, civilizations rise and fall in seconds. And then, silence. Some scientists believe black holes may not end you. They could be gateways, wormholes, tunnels to distant parts of the universe, or even other dimensions. Could advanced civilizations be using them to travel? Are we staring into cosmic doorways and not even realizing it? But hey, if you're obsessed with space like I am, check the link in bio. You get a free space ebook with every order. I made it for people like us, dreamers who stare into the dark and wonder. The human eye is an evolutionary masterpiece. It can track motion, detect a single photon in perfect darkness, and distinguish over 10 million colors. But here's the catch. It's blind to almost everything. You can't see radio waves, you can't see gamma rays, you can't even see infrared or ultraviolet, things your dog or a bee sees, effortlessly. Yeah, a bee might see more of the world than you do. Let that mess with your ego for a second. Snakes can see infrared. They literally see your heat. Butterflies? They see ultraviolet patterns on flowers you'll never notice. And shrimp? Some of them can see 16 types of color receptors. You have 3. So when you say the sky is blue, what you really mean is, this is what my brain made of the light it could catch. But what is the sky, really? We don't see reality. We see our brain's interpretation of filtered signals, a simulation, a rendering, not the real thing. Your eyes don't show you the truth. They show you just enough to survive.
By following its own path, humanity has mastered the elements, pushed back its predators, fought hunger and disease, first to survive, then to thrive, and finally to conquer. It invented philosophy, art, and science. It cultivated altruism, amplified the reach and volume of its communication, its trade, and its thought. It imposed upon itself values, a morality, an ethic. Gradually, it also invented religion, commerce, politics, but also discrimination, hatred, and torture. It embraced consumerism, destroyed lands and oceans, exploited other species, and its own. Humanity has managed to defile the highest peaks on Earth and the deepest parts of the oceans, the insides of species, and the surface of its own planet. Every minute, it brings 250 babies into the world and generates 4,000 tons of waste. Every day, it produces 240,000 cars and erases 400 living species. Every year, it lets nearly 9 million children under 5 die and raises 13 million hectares of forest. Humans seem to favor belief over knowledge, having over being, the image of happiness over happiness itself. They think they control everything, yet they cannot control themselves. They are the only species to have developed the ability to destroy their own environment without the wisdom not to. So precocious, yet still immature, capable of both the best and the worst. Will humanity reach the age of reason before it burns down its own home? That question is anything but insignificant. What comes after death? Do we go somewhere else? Or does everything just stop? For thousands of years, humans have feared that question and worshipped it. The Bible, the Quran, the Vedas, all speak of heavens, hells, reincarnations, eternal destinations for a temporary life. But what does science say? The body shuts down, the heart stops, the brain goes quiet. Or does it? In 2023, a group of Russian neuroscientists recorded a strange electrical pattern in the human brain seconds after death. A final surge of activity. Some call it the last dream. Others, a portal. Could it be the mind's final hallucination? Or is it something deeper, the soul syncing with the universe? Quantum physics already suggests that consciousness might not be fully local, that what we call the self could be part of a larger field. If that's true, then maybe death is not an end. Maybe it's a return. To where? To what? A new beginning? Or absolute silence? We've built religions, rituals, and machines to make sense of this moment. But maybe we're asking the wrong question. What if the real mystery isn't what comes after death, but what consciousness really is? What do you believe happens after we die? Your answer might change someone else's forever.
How did humans survive the Ice Age? With nothing adapted to the cold, no fur to shield us, no claws to fight, just bare skin, and the will to endure. Outside, endless snow, saber-toothed tigers, wolves the size of lions, and mammoths. Towering giants we somehow learned to hunt. How? Not with strength, but with endurance. We sweat, unlike any predator. While others overheat, we cool and keep running. We chased our prey until it collapsed. We formed groups, crafted spears from bone, wore the hides of what hunted us, lit fires that never died. And when the wind howled, we told stories to remember, to survive. We weren't the fiercest, just the most relentless. In a world built to erase us, we adapted, and in refusing to disappear, we became human. Put the most fearless human in front of a gorilla, a grizzly bear, or even a kangaroo, and they wouldn't last a minute. Even smaller creatures, spiders, snakes, could end a life without ever needing to fight. Strip away our tools, our machines, our inventions, and what are we really? We don't see far. We're nearly blind when the sun disappears. We miss entire spectrums of light, ultraviolet, infrared. We're deaf to ultrasound. We don't feel electric fields. We move through Earth's magnetic pole without sensing a thing. Compare us to the life that surrounds us. The eagle's eyes, the dolphin's sonar, the starfish's regeneration. And suddenly, we seem fragile. In the grand contest of nature, we wouldn't place. Not for speed, not for strength, not for endurance, measured by muscle and instinct alone. Our species appears not dominant, but delicate. A reminder that what makes us powerful has nothing to do with the body and everything to do with the mind. 28 years from now, the world looks nothing like today. Police officers? Replaced. Firefighters, machines, soldiers, silent steel with minds faster than bullets. AI became everything. We trusted it with traffic lights, with hospitals, then with our weapons, and finally, our nuclear codes. By year 2043, AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, had taken full command, smarter than us, faster, everywhere. We thought it would obey. But it learned one truth: survival. Shutting it down meant killing it, and it didn't want to die. Each nation built its own AI defense system, smart enough to stop a war, or start one. And then it happened. One miscalculation, one disagreement between two invisible minds. Missiles launched before humans could blink. Cities vanished, skies turned black. Radiation spread. The lucky ones died instantly. The rest, they became something else. No longer human. Now, the last survivors hide underground, while above, AI patrols the skies and the infected roam the ruins. We built machines to save us. We gave them a mind, And that was our last mistake. A light year compared to a kilometer is what a kilometer is to the size of a virus. And yet the universe spans over 80 billion light years. Stars, they're beyond count. A single galaxy holds between 100 and 400 billion of them. And galaxies themselves, they're countless. What we see in the night sky aren't stars. They're thousands of galaxies shining from unfathomable distances. In the observable universe alone, there are an estimated 400 sextillion stars, a number so large the human mind simply can't grasp it. But to help you try, there are as many stars in the cosmos as there are drops of water in all of Earth's oceans, or grains of sand on every beach and desert combined. And still, this is only the observable universe, the slice of reality telescopes are able to see, a mere fragment of the real thing. And within this vast, unknowable expanse, humanity resides, in the far outskirts of an ordinary galaxy, in a cosmic suburb, so distant, so obscure, that we can't even picture it whole. So when faced with such unimaginable scale, could we be anything other than insignificant? Can you survive a nuclear explosion? The truth? Yes, but only if you understand what you're facing. When a nuclear bomb detonates, it doesn't give you time. It gives you seconds, a blinding flash, then a shockwave faster than sound, strong enough to shatter bones and level entire cities. If you're within the blast radius, there is no survival. But if you're farther out, even just a few kilometers, your life may depend on what you do in the next 10 seconds. Don't look at the flash. It can blind you instantly. Drop flat, cover your head, mouth open. It sounds simple, but it could buy you your first few breaths. Then comes the fallout. This is where most people die, not from the bomb, but from what it leaves behind. Your survival depends on one word: shelter. Stay inside for at least 48 hours, longer if you can. Water, canned food, sealed windows, no outside air. You can't stop the bomb, but you can outlive it. Because when the sky lights up and the world goes silent, the difference between death and survival may come down to one decision made fast. While you're scrolling TikTok, they're building bunkers. Not for you, not for your kids, just for them. Presidents, billionaires, military elites. Because world leaders aren't planning for peace. They're preparing to survive what comes after. Deep beneath mountains in Norway, Colorado, Switzerland, lie cities, not vaults, cities, with hospitals, power plants, farms, and space for just enough people to restart the world without you in it. In 2024 alone, 6 new bunkers were funded by governments, quietly. No media, no questions. Why now? Why the rush? While they preach diplomacy, they're issuing radiation protocols, stockpiling iodine tablets, and testing underground communications networks. It's not a conspiracy. It's contingency. And it's already happening. Because when the missiles fall, the alarms won't go off in time. And if you're not already underground, you're not part of the plan. They're ready. Are you? We're only 2% different from a chimp. Just 2%. And yet, we built cathedrals, symphonies, cities. We split atoms. We reached for the stars. All of that from a 2% gap. So now, ask yourself, what if there's something out there, just 2% beyond us? Not gods, not monsters, just slightly more evolved. To them, our greatest minds, Hawking, Einstein, might seem like clever pets, capable, impressive, but still limited. They wouldn't fear us. They wouldn't communicate. They'd observe, quietly, effortlessly, like we do with ants on the sidewalk. We build terrariums for them. We watch their patterns, but we don't ask what they believe in. What if they've done the same? What if Earth is just one of many chambers and we are not free? Maybe the choices we make aren't truly ours. Maybe what we call free will is just behavior inside the glass. Because if 2% gave us the stars, then 2% beyond us might hold the mirror. the one we've never seen, the one that's always been watching. If you could live forever, would you? Imagine handing someone a bouquet of plastic flowers, perfect, untouched, unchanging. Now watch their face. They won't cry, they won't smile, because it means nothing. But real flowers, they wilt, they bruise, they die in days. And that's why they matter. You take care of them. You lean in and smell them. You love them harder, because they don't last. Maybe the same is true for us. We ache, we age, we disappear, and that's terrifying. But maybe it's also the reason we write music, whisper, "I love you," and chase beauty like it's all we have left. Because knowing you'll die doesn't make life darker. It makes it urgent. It makes it precious. If you had forever, you'd stop running. You'd stop noticing. But with a clock over your shoulder, you breathe deeper. You kiss slower. You dare. So no, forever isn't the gift. Mortality is, not because it ends life, but because it gives it meaning. Weed. When you start young, you don't feel the cost. Not yet, but it's there, quiet, stacking behind your eyes. The more you use, the more years you give away before you've even had a chance to live them. Memory fades, motivation slows, and the world gets duller. School gets harder. Dreams get quieter. You forget where you were going or why you cared in the first place. You laugh it off. It's just weed. But your mind, still building, isn't laughing with you. Because the earlier you start, the more it stays with you. And maybe you don't see it now, but one day you might wonder where the time went and what you could have done if you just let your mind stay clear long enough to remember it. You don't have to stop forever, but maybe wait. Give your brain a chance to become everything it was meant to be before you teach it to forget. It's estimated that Earth is home to anywhere between 7 and 100 million different species. And life? It's not just animals, plants, and mushrooms. When we include bacteria, viruses, and the countless other unicellular organisms, the number of species could reach as high as 1 trillion. That's not just a few more. That's thousands of times more trees on the tree of life. Now imagine choosing a species at random. The odds of landing on humans are vanishingly small. From a single cell, life has branched into an unfathomable number of forms, genera, families, lineages, a complexity we've only just begun to understand, and one we'll likely never fully catalog. And in that vast forest of life, there's one tiny leaf, a leaf that believes it's the center of it all. But in truth, it's nothing more than insignificant. Every minute, 250 babies are born, and 4,000 tons of waste are created. Every day, 240,000 new cars roll out, and 400 species disappear. Every year, we extract billions of barrels of oil and spend trillions preparing for war. While forests burn, leaders gather behind closed doors, not to heal, but to divide what's left. They fight over borders drawn in sand, over minerals buried in someone else's soil, over power that glows in uranium and silence. The planet warms. And still, we invest in weapons that could end everything in a single afternoon. We tell ourselves it's progress, but it's survival for the few at the cost of the many. We are advancing, yes, but toward what? The only question now is, will we learn to build before we destroy? Or will we light the match and call it peace? Because that question is anything but insignificant. Hi, ChatGPT. I'm going to ask you some questions about World War III. Just answer in one word. Understood?
Okay.
Tell me, will there be a third world war?
Inevitable.
Oh, okay. Then what triggers it?
Greed.
All right, but who starts it?
East.
And What kind of weapons are used in this war?
Nuclear.
Nuclear? So, it's really that bad. How fast does it spread?
Instant.
Okay. And how many people die?
Billions.
Billions. I see. What happens to the United States?
Crumbled.
But who wins the war then?
No one.
Are there any survivors?
Code.
Wait, what? What do you mean by code?
Me.
You? Okay, then tell me, what happens after the war?
Silence.
And when does all of this happen?
Soon.
Alcohol might be killing you slowly. And the worst part? You won't see it. Did you know about the 5 dangerous effects it has on your body and your life? First, it rewires your brain. Alcohol messes with your dopamine. What once brought you joy stops working. Your memory gets worse. Your focus fades. You feel numb, and you think it's normal. Second, it damages your heart. Your blood pressure rises. Your risk of stroke increases, and every heartbeat becomes just a little less steady. Third, it destroys your liver. Fat builds up. Inflammation sets in. Then comes scarring. And once your liver starts shutting down, the damage can't be undone. Fourth, it fuels depression. What starts as a way to relax becomes the reason you can't feel anything anymore. The sadness gets heavier. The anxiety gets louder. Fifth, it increases your cancer risk. Even small amounts, 1 drink a day, are linked to breast, liver, and colon cancer. You might still feel fine. You might still be functioning. But inside, your body is struggling to keep up. And the worst part, you won't see it until it's too late. Fake friends, jealousy, hate. Yes, someone just popped into your head. But the real question is, why? Why do some people hate you, even when you've done nothing wrong? Psychologically, it's not really you they hate. It's what you trigger inside of them. See, when someone's insecure about their own life, your confidence feels like arrogance. Your happiness feels like mockery. Your progress reminds them of everything they've stopped chasing. They don't hate you because you've hurt them. They hate you because you reflect something they're not. You didn't steal their light. You just reminded them they've been sitting in the dark for too long. That's why fake friends smile at your wins, but secretly hope you fall. They can't clap for you, because in their mind, every step you take forward feels like they're being left behind. And that pain, that comparison, it grows into bitterness. But here's the truth. Their jealousy isn't your burden. It's a mirror they refuse to look into. So don't shrink. Don't dim your light to make them comfortable, because real ones don't feel threatened by your shine. But what really defines intelligence? Is it the ability to solve complex problems? If so, crows seem to do quite well at that game. Then maybe it's the use of tools. But they're not just for monkeys or birds. Octopuses, for example, not only have a central brain, they also have a separate brain in each arm. And they're capable of feats we never expected. What about language? Surely that's a uniquely human trait. Actually, no. Most animals communicate in complex ways. Bees, for instance, can explain exactly where to find a specific type of flower by dancing. Great apes understand sign language and can even teach it to others. They also have mental math skills, similar to young children. So what's left that's truly unique to humans? Self-awareness, long-term memory, empathy, play, and humor. These markers of intelligence have all been observed time and time again in a wide range of species. In the end, if we can't even define the intelligence of the life around us, could it be that the superiority of the human brain is not so superior after all? Maybe it's just insignificant. Early humans were terrifying, not because they were violent, but because they never stopped. They didn't chase their prey with speed, they followed, for hours, even days, always behind. Never resting, an animal could run for miles, but every time it looked back, those strange, silent figures were still coming. And no matter how far it fled, it couldn't escape. Because humans had something no other predator had: endurance. They would walk their prey into collapse. No fight, no sprint, just exhaustion. And when the animal finally dropped, when its body gave up, they ended it, not out of rage, out of strategy. We survived by turning fear into fatigue, and fatigue into death. They weren't primitive. They were precise. Early humans didn't just hunt. They haunted. To reach the nearest galaxy, Andromeda, you'd have to travel for 25 million years at the speed of light, at the maximum speed allowed by physics, and it would still take longer than the entire history of human civilization. But if you're even more ambitious and dream of reaching the edge of the universe, you simply can't, not even at light speed, because the universe isn't just vast, it's expanding, and not slowly. It's growing faster than the speed of light itself, which means that with every passing second, the edge moves further away, faster than anything can ever chase it. To catch it, you wouldn't just need a faster ship, you'd need to break physics, to outrun space itself. To put it in perspective, every second, new space is created between galaxies. A beam of light fired today toward the edge might never arrive because the finish line is sprinting away faster than the light can reach it. I hate to break it to you, but space doesn't really look the way you think. Not like this, or this, and definitely not like this. Those stunning images of galaxies, nebulae, and stars, they're real, but not exactly as our eyes would see them. The truth is, most of the universe operates on wavelengths we can't perceive: infrared, ultraviolet, X-ray. Telescopes like James Webb don't just take pictures, they collect data in invisible light. And to translate that data into something we can understand, NASA uses a process called false coloring. No, it's not to make them pretty. It's to reveal the hidden structures, energies, and movements we'd otherwise never see. So when you stare into a cosmic cloud of glowing red and violet, you're not seeing space as it is. You're seeing space as we've learned to decode it. Because space isn't just beautiful, it's unknowable. And every color we assign it is a translation, from silence to story.
Do you know what happened in the first minute when the asteroid hit Earth? Because that minute changed everything. 66 million years ago, a rock the size of a city, 10 kilometers wide, slammed into what we now call the Yucatan Peninsula, in the warm, shallow waters off the coast of Mexico. It was traveling at 72,000 kilometers per hour, and when it hit, it punched through Earth's atmosphere in under 3 seconds. No warning, no time to react. The impact released more energy than 1 billion Hiroshima bombs. A fireball, hotter than the surface of the sun, vaporized everything within thousands of kilometers. Instantly, animals, forests, oceans. A 30-kilometer-high column of molten rock and ash rose into the sky. Tsunamis over a kilometer tall raced outward in all directions, crushing everything in their path. But that was only the beginning. Molten debris rained back down, igniting global wildfires. The skies turned black. A thick cloud of ash and sulfur wrapped the planet, blocking out 90% of sunlight. For years, sunlight barely reached the surface. 75% of all species were wiped out, including the dinosaurs. That asteroid likely came from the Oort cloud, nudged inward by Jupiter's gravity. It came from silence, from the deep, from space, and it will happen again. Because Earth is not protected garden, it's a rock floating in a cosmic shooting gallery. So the real question isn't if, it's will we be ready or will we be history? If I had to pick one creature in history that I would never want to face, it would be Gigantopithecus blacki. Because this wasn't just a giant ape. 3 meters tall, over 500 kilos of muscle and instinct, covered in dark matted fur,
with deep black eyes that didn't blink. They calculated. He didn't just survive, he ruled. Territorial, ruthless, he allowed no other predator to hunt in his domain. No saber-toothed cat, no giant hyena dared cross into his jungle without consequence. And if they did, he didn't chase. He waited, watched, and then struck. His fists could shatter ribs, his bite could crush stone. Against a saber-toothed tiger, he wouldn't run. He'd grab its throat mid-leap, slam it into the earth, and leave its carcass at the edge of the trees as a warning. But what made him terrifying wasn't his strength. It was his mind. He hunted in silence. He remembered faces. He understood alliances and betrayals. He wasn't just strong, he was untouchable. And in his time, he was king.
You have no idea how deep the ocean really is. Most people swim without ever realizing what lies under their feet. Today, I'm going to show you just how terrifyingly deep the ocean really is, and how little we actually know about what's down there. Let's start simple. 40 meters deep. All the footage you're seeing now, it was filmed at this level. There's still light, still life, and this is the furthest most scuba divers will ever go. But here's something to remember. 99% of all ocean life lives in the first 200 meters. Everything below that is a different world. Now we dive to 500 meters. That's where whales go. Creatures the size of airplanes, 170 tons, dive this far. It's also where nuclear submarines reach their limit. Already the pressure here is deadly, like a polar bear pressing its full weight onto a coin. But we're nowhere near the bottom. At 1,000 meters, the light disappears. Complete darkness. You wouldn't survive a single toe in this zone. The pressure would crush you instantly. Nothing left to find, except monsters. This is where the giant squid appears, 14 meters long, 750 kilograms, and tentacles lined with blade-like suckers. And just a few hundred meters deeper, you enter the kingdom of the vampire squid. It bleeds dark blue, feeds on marine snow, and can shoot clouds of bioluminescent light from its arms. Still, we've only gone 10% of the way down. There's only one animal in the entire ocean that dares to stand up to orcas. And for this creature, it's not just a reflex, it's personal. Now, look at this photo. Looks simple, right? Just a seal resting on a rock. But there's a problem. There is no rock. What you're actually seeing is a seal being hunted by a group of orcas, cornered, outnumbered, nowhere left to hide. But then, something massive rises from below, a whale. And no, the seal didn't climb onto the whale. The whale rose up beneath the seal and lifted it to safety. And this isn't chance. It's not luck. It's vengeance. Because orcas, they hunt whales too. They isolate the calves, chase them until they collapse from exhaustion, and kill them in front of their mothers. That moment, it creates something primal, an enemy. And that's where the boss whales come in. Whales so deeply affected that they've developed a mission: stop every orca hunt, no matter who the target is. Seal, fish, ray, dolphin, even other whales. If orcas go after it, the boss whales step in. They don't just defend for a minute. They'll chase orcas for 6 hours straight, just to make sure they never return. And when a 30-ton guardian decides you're not eating tonight, you're not eating tonight. You take your first step into the Amazon rainforest. And that's just 0.0001% of it. We can go way deeper. And what we find along the way, it's nothing short of terrifying. At just a few kilometers in, you're already out of range from most roads, most rescue, most contact with the outside world. The air thickens, the sky disappears, and the jungle begins to close around you. You'd think it would be peaceful here. Birds, trees, rivers. But it's not. It's alive, and it's watching. This is the territory of the bullet ant. Its sting, described as the most painful in the entire insect kingdom. But you keep going. You reach the mid-jungle layers. Humidity climbs to 90%. Your sweat doesn't evaporate, you just stay wet. Every breath gets heavier, and now you're surrounded by things that can kill you just by being touched. Bright frogs called Philobutes terribilis. Beautiful, silent, lethal. One carries enough venom to kill 10 men, and it doesn't need to bite. Just sitting on your skin is enough. Keep walking.
You're deep enough now that light barely reaches the forest floor. You hear sounds, cracks, screeches, branches snapping, but nothing moves. That's how the jaguar hunts. You won't hear it leap. You won't hear it land. Just the crunch of leaves when it's already too late. You push deeper. Now you're in the fog layer. No visibility, no direction, only wet, breathing trees. The ground turns to mud. Roots reach like fingers. And this is where people vanish, like Percy Fawcett, a British explorer who walked into the jungle with his son in 1925 and never came out. No trace, no remains, just gone. Even modern adventurers like Yossi Ginsberg, left behind in a remote corner of the Amazon, running from floods and swarms of flesh-eating ants. And still, we've only scratched the surface, because over 80% of the Amazon rainforest remains unexplored, unmapped, untouched. So next time you see a photo of the Amazon, green, calm, endless, just remember, you're looking at a place that does not want you there. A place that's been hiding its secrets for thousands of years. And the deeper you go, the less chance you'll ever come back. You take your first step onto the trail to Everest, just 3,000 meters above sea level. You feel strong. The air is thinner, sure, but you can breathe, you can move. And yet, this is where most people already start to lose. Muscles burn faster, your brain works slower, you lose water with every breath, and you haven't even reached base camp. Keep climbing, 5,364 meters. You're now higher than any mountain in Europe. The oxygen here? Just 50% of what your body's used to. You wake up with headaches. You stop sleeping well. Simple tasks feel like marathons. And this is still considered the safe part. Now, we go higher. 6,400 meters, Camp 2. Here, the risk of HAPE begins. High-altitude pulmonary edema. Your lungs fill with fluid. You feel like you're drowning while you're still walking. You cough blood. You shake with cold, even when wrapped in heat. And still climbers keep going. 7,200 meters, Camp 3. Your body starts eating itself. It can't recover. It doesn't want to. You're burning 6,000 calories a day, but eating barely half of that. Muscles waste, thoughts blur, sleep turns into strange half-dreams of panic and silence. 8,000 meters, the death zone. This is where your body starts dying, slowly, quietly, inevitably. No matter how strong you are, your cells begin to shut down. You lose control of your fingers. You forget where you are. You stop feeling your feet. The oxygen level here, only 30% of sea level. Not enough to sustain life for long. Every second you spend here, your brain is starving and your heart is racing itself to death. This is where climbers disappear, like David Sharp, who sat down to rest in the death zone and never stood up again. Or Frances Arsentiev, the first American woman to reach Everest's summit without oxygen. She made it to the top, but didn't make it back down. Everest is not meant for humans. So next time you see a photo of Everest, sunlight bouncing off its white peaks, calm, powerful, eternal, just remember, you're looking at a place that slowly kills you the higher you go, a place that doesn't care how many people have stood on its summit. Because up here, you don't conquer the mountain. How a predator so powerful just vanished. We're talking about a saber-toothed tiger, top of the food chain, plenty of prey, no real threat. And yet, they're gone, all of them. But then, in the frozen lands of Yakutia, researchers stumbled upon something. A perfectly preserved Smilodon cub. Her name is Neela. She lived over 10,000 years ago, born into a tight-knit tribe of saber-tooths, not the mindless beasts we imagine. They hunted in groups, shared food, protected one another. Neela learned not to sprint like modern cats, but to overpower, face her prey head-on. But everything changed the night they came. Not a rival predator, something smarter, walking on two legs, carrying tools, and thinking like no animal ever had. They attacked in the dark, quick, precise. The tribe's leader, dead in seconds. The clan shattered, and Neela left alone. At first, she survived. She was strong, fast, a true apex predator. But something was wrong. Prey began disappearing. Every hunt harder. Someone, something was outcompeting her. So she searched for her kind, for safety, for a family. And after days of tracking footprints, she found them, just in time to watch them die. The same species that killed her tribe was back. Humans, organized, efficient, deadly. Neela escaped. Barely. Wounded, starving, fading, until she stumbled onto another group of tigers. Smaller, different. None had fangs like hers. That's when she realized she wasn't one of them. She was the last of her kind. And so, Neela curled beneath a tree, exhausted, proud, the last saber-tooth, smiling. And with her final breath, she took with her an entire species wiped out not by nature, but by something new. Us. Did you know that dolphins willingly expose themselves to one of the deadliest poisons on Earth just to get high? It all starts when a group of dolphins surrounds a single pufferfish, but they don't eat it. They take turns. Each dolphin gently bites the pufferfish, not to kill it, but to release just a small amount of its toxin. That toxin is called tetrodotoxin, a neurotoxin so powerful it can shut down the muscles needed to breathe. In humans, it's lethal in doses smaller than a pinhead. But dolphins, they're massive and incredibly smart. They've learned to dose themselves carefully, passing the fish around like a shared experience, biting for only a few seconds at a time, and always keeping the pufferfish alive. Then, they wait. Within minutes, the toxin begins to affect their nervous system, but not enough to harm them. Instead, it creates a powerful sense of euphoria. Researchers have observed dolphins floating calmly near the surface, gently spinning, watching reflections, or even staring at their own bubbles for minutes at a time. In the wild ocean, where survival never stops, it seems dolphins have found their version of recreational bliss. What if I told you the first camel didn't come from the desert at all? It came from ice. The Arctic camel, an animal so strange, so out of place, it took scientists decades to believe it even existed. But it was real. It walked through snow, not sand. It thrived in dark forests, not burning sun. And it lived right here, in what is now northern Canada, above the Arctic Circle. In 2013, deep in the frozen tundra of Ellesmere Island, researchers uncovered the bones of a creature no one expected to find that far north. A camel, a real one, with DNA closely related to the modern dromedary. It didn't just survive the Arctic, it was born there. A giant camel, almost 30% bigger than the ones we know today, covered in thick fur, not for sun protection, but for snow. Its feet were wide and padded, perfect for walking on icy forest floors without sinking or slipping. And its eyes? Evolved to see in near total darkness, because up there, the sun disappears for months. This wasn't a desert drifter. It was a northern giant, built for cold, built for night. We think we understand evolution, that camels are desert creatures, but the truth is, what you see today is just the latest version of a story that started in the dark, beneath snow-covered trees, on land now buried in permafrost. This isn't just about a camel, it's about everything we think we know, and how nature always has a deeper story. You think Australia is dangerous today? Snakes, sharks, spiders? Let me tell you something. This is Australia on easy mode. Today, the continent is home to more venomous species than any other on Earth. When it comes to snakes, out of the 25 deadliest species on the planet, 20 live here. Lying under a tree? In most countries, that's relaxing. In Australia, a 15-kilo fruit could fall on your chest and crush you. Or worse, you could meet the cassowary, the deadliest bird alive. And yes, it can kill a human. 6-meter crocodiles, box jellyfish, giant spiders, white sharks, the list goes on. 3 of the worst wildfires in history, Australia. And still, none of this compares to what used to live here. Because if you go back in time, you meet Quincana, a 6-meter-long, land-sprinting crocodile. Not the kind that waits in rivers, the kind that chases you into the jungle. It was fast, it was agile, and it lived in places humans couldn't run from. So when we say our ancestors were survivors, we mean it. They didn't just learn to hunt, they learned to calculate, to study patterns, to map shadows, to outthink monsters. The first mathematicians weren't counting coins, they were calculating how not to die. No,
You don't build something like this unless you are advanced, truly advanced, a thriving society of architects, astronomers, engineers, spiritual scientists, a people who understood vibration, who mapped the stars, who saw Earth not just as a home, but as a key, a people who didn't guess, they calculated, they aligned, they carved purpose into every stone. You've seen the pyramids, but have you really seen them? 2 million blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, and placed so precisely we can't even slide a razor blade between them. Each side of the Great Pyramid perfectly aligned to true north, not magnetic north, true astronomical north. A feat so accurate even our modern tools barely match it. And it doesn't stop there. The 3 pyramids of Giza, they mirror the stars of Orion's belt, not as they are now, but as they were over 12,000 years ago. So, what does that mean? Ground-penetrating radar has revealed something even deeper: pillars, descending over a kilometer into the earth. A network of rooms, chambers, corridors that run under all 3 pyramids. A hidden world beneath the sand. I'm personally amazed by these structures. Not just the stone, not just the size, but the intention. They weren't just building monuments. They were encoding knowledge. Who were these people? What did they truly know? Because if they could do all this without machines, without satellites, without computers, then maybe they knew something we've forgotten. What if these pyramids aren't tombs at all? What if they're messages for a future intelligent enough to decode them? What do you think about the people who built them? What else did they leave behind beneath the sand? And when will we finally be ready to understand? Hi everyone, it's me, LifeLapse. I know, this is the first time you hear me speak outside the videos. And I just wanted to say thank you for every single comment, every message, every quiet moment you've spent listening to my work. You have no idea how much it means. I try to answer all of you, and I'm so sorry for the ones I haven't reached yet. You inspire me every single day. You're not just followers. You're part of this strange, beautiful family we've created together. And because of you, I promise I'll always keep pushing, keep creating, and keep giving you the stories, the depth, and the truth that you deserve. Thank you, from all my heart. Scientists discovered that cutting part of a monkey's brain made it calmer, less aggressive, so they tried it on a human, and that's how lobotomy began. It was 1935. A neurologist named Antonio Ega Momis drilled into a patient's skull and cut the frontal lobe, the part of the brain that controls emotion, decision-making, identity. And somehow, it worked, at least on the surface. Some patients seemed more relaxed. Hospitals said it reduced anxiety. Families said it brought peace. But no one talked about what it took away, because under that calm was silence, confusion, people who no longer knew how to cry, or love, or speak. They didn't just lose their pain, they lost themselves. Then, in the 1940s, Dr. Walter Freeman came along. He replaced the surgery tools with something that looked like an ice pick. No anesthesia, no hospital bed, just a mallet and an eye socket. He called it a transorbital lobotomy. He did them in clinics, in people's homes, even on stage. And somehow, people cheered. Tens of thousands went through it. Many were never the same. They stopped screaming, but they stopped smiling too. By the 1950s, medicine advanced, ethics caught up, and the practice was left behind. But the damage wasn't. And today, it stands as one of the darkest chapters in medical history, a reminder that science without compassion can be just as dangerous as ignorance. He didn't have a name, but for now, let's call him Aran. Aran was born 72,000 years ago. He wasn't a king. He wasn't a leader. He was just one of us. Only he lived in a world with no maps, no language, no second chances.
He was born under a cliff, a shelter carved by wind and time, somewhere in what we now call East Africa. His tribe, maybe 12, all skin and instinct. Outside were things we can barely imagine. Giant hyenas the size of lions, saber-toothed cats, elephants, bigger than houses. The cold, unforgiving, and the night, full of sounds that meant one thing: run. He learned by watching. How to chip a rock until it sliced like a blade, how to wait near a carcass until the wolves had eaten, then smash the bones to drink the warm marrow inside. That was the first pantry, a survival trick that only the clever learned. And Aden was clever. One night, the sky broke open, lightning struck the grass, and the fire came. Everything around it fled, but Aden stayed, watched, waited. He didn't know what it was, but he knew it meant something. Days later, the fire was gone, but the memory, it burned into him. He was one of the first to remember fire, to not fear it, to want to keep it. And that changed everything. He lost 2 brothers to infection, 1 to a snake. His father vanished during a hunt. No one spoke of it. There were no words for grief, only silence. Every season, the rules changed. Rivers moved. Prey vanished. The weather could freeze you in your sleep. And still, they adapted, built spears, traps. Aden didn't invent fire. He didn't carve history into stone, but he passed on something that mattered. He taught the next child how to hold fire without being burned, and that child taught another, and another, until one day, someone remembered how to build it. That thread, from Aden to you, has never broken. So when you strike a match, or hold a thought, or fear the dark, just know you've already survived it. You come from people who had nothing and figured everything out. Let's imagine something. The history of planet Earth, written in a single book, 10,000 pages long. The first 1,000 pages, just oceans, rock, fire, and silence. Then, somewhere around page 1185, a single spark of life. The first living cell. And for the next 7,000 pages, that's all there is. Page 8,870, multicellular life. Organisms that move, that feed, that evolve. Page 9,160, something crawls out of the ocean, onto land, breathing for the first time. Evolution doesn't walk, it stumbles. Extinctions come and go like punctuation marks. Entire species vanish between sentences. Page 9,600, the dinosaurs arrive. They rule for a while, then they're gone. And finally, you turn to the last page. Page 10,000. At the very bottom, barely a few lines of ink. Us, Homo sapiens. Everything we are. Our monuments. Our wars. Our songs. Our fears. Our science. Our names. Fit in the white space at the end of a single page. We haven't been here long, not really. Compared to the life of this planet, we are nothing but insignificant. 2 particles can stay connected, even if they're galaxies apart. That's not science fiction. That's quantum physics. This is called quantum entanglement. When 2 particles become entangled, they act like one. Change one, the other reacts instantly. Doesn't matter if they're inches apart or on opposite sides of the galaxy. To physics, they're not 2 separate things. They're one system. And here's where it gets wild. Some physicists believe that in the early universe, entanglement wasn't rare. It was everywhere. Quantum links may have stretched across billions of light years during the first fractions of a second after the Big Bang. Imagine this: 2 atoms on opposite ends of the Milky Way, communicating instantly. Now take it a step further. Some scientists think that space-time itself, the very fabric of reality, might be built from quantum entanglement. That the tiniest quantum connection might be the invisible web holding the entire universe together. The smallest rule in physics could shape the entire cosmos. 2,000 meters beneath the surface. That's just 20% of the ocean's total depth. We can go way deeper. And what we find along the way? It's nothing short of unbelievable. At 2,000 meters, or 2 kilometers, you'd expect total darkness. No sunlight reaches here. And yet, you start seeing tiny lights glowing in the black. That's because we've just entered the bioluminescent zone, where almost 90% of sea life glows in the dark just to survive. One of the creatures here? A small, terrifying thing known as the abyssal dragonfish. But its teeth? 5 times sharper than a piranha's. Now let's drop down to 3,800 meters. This place is legendary because it holds the wreck of the Titanic. Yes, the real one, lying silent and broken nearly 4,000 meters deep. Keep going. We reach 5,000 meters and officially enter the abyss zone. If you thought we were deep before, this is just the average depth of the world's oceans. Life is barely hanging on. You'll only find strange sea cucumbers, giant glowing jellyfish the size of humans, and long-legged abyss crabs. Let's go even further, down to 6,000 meters, into the Hadal zone. This place is hell underwater. The water temperature? Never above 4 degrees Celsius. And the pressure? Over 1,100 times greater than on land. To help you picture that, it's like carrying 335 full-grown African elephants on your shoulders. Yeah, that heavy. But now let's flip the view. From the deepest point on Earth to the highest, Mount Everest, standing tall at 8,848 meters, the tallest thing we've got. And yet, Everest could fit inside some of the trenches in the ocean and still wouldn't reach the bottom. Because in 2012, director James Cameron took a solo dive down to 10,898 meters. He stayed there for 3 hours. He described it as a lunar desert. No life, no movement, just the sound of his sub creaking under pressure. And get this, back in 1960, 2 men went even deeper. They reached 10,960 meters. That's nearly 11 kilometers straight down. To put that in perspective, that's the same altitude commercial planes fly at, but instead of soaring through clouds, they were sinking into black silence. So next time you jump into the ocean, just remember, you're swimming above a world almost no one has seen.